Grand rising powerful beings. The Matrix is here. So get your ass outside. Kind way of saying real life living, baby. Listen, if you've heard about the Metaverse and you're like, what is that? Man, I'm trying to drop a verse in real life. Get to IRL, y'all. I'm gonna be talking about living in real life, how that is the key to not just being productive, but the key to experiencing real life. So if you wanna tap in to a message that you might not even want to hear, but you need to hear, a message that says, hey, listen, get yourself walking in the dirt, get yourself breathing, get yourself in nature, because if you're not in nature, baby, like Ralph Smart is always saying, guess what? The inorganic one's gonna come after you. So here's what I'm talking about here. We have to be conscious of how much time we spend online and how much time we spend in real life. So let's go. Keep tapping in with me. So the Matrix is here. What am I talking about? So I want everybody to be really conscious of how you're moving in this new world that we're living in. This is why I'm making this podcast. Now, this whole week I've been talking about being productive. But here's the thing. Did you know that you can actually be productive, but it's not really serving you? That you can be productive in a way where you're building a pseudo world for yourself? That you can be locked up in the Matrix and not even know it? That you can be locked up in a box that you created, a reality that's not even a reality, a false made reality. And I don't want you to get stuck in it. So guess what? That's why I'm talking about this. So recently, yesterday, I saw that Facebook just released their new name, which is Meta, and they just introduced the new concept of the Metaverse. Now, going back in history and understanding that we've literally been groomed to accept this. Technology is one of the major laws that Mark Zuckerberg says. Listen, what he said. He said, don't introduce things too fast. So basically with tech, everything introduces in little by little. You know, first we start with the Nokia phone, right? First, let's get the concept of having a device on us. And then over time, these Nokia phones start to become flip phones and just different games in them. So all your life, you've been groomed to accept technology as it is. And you know, it's been very useful. Technology is a very useful thing in our lives. However, this technology can become an enslavement. Now, I'm not here to say don't use Facebook or don't use whatever, because I'm using it and I'm gonna be using it. What I'm here to remind you is to make sure that you're getting out our IRL. Every time I say RIL in this video, that means I'm talking about in real life. So guess what? I still have Zoom meetings. I'm telling you, it's also time for you to intensify your connection with the real world as it relates to nature. Why? Because just like you were groomed to accept technology, you have to groom yourself back into the earth. Here's what. If you are stuck to only technology, over time, you might just become a cyborg. Really, that's what's gonna happen. And you're like, man, I feel like I'm already a cyborg. What's the first thing you do when you rise? Do you just pick your phone up and you start looking at it? Is your entire identity stuck to your phone? That's what makes you a cyborg. So this message is not just for people who are watching. This message is about me. Now, I'm always on using my technology platforms. But guess what? You see, I'm in the Matrix, but where am I? Where am I at? Outside. When I disconnect from this, where am I gonna go? In real life. So I just posted a video to say, listen, in this day of age, we're connected to the internet. If you really wanna have impact all across the world, you're gonna need to kind of use this in a way. I'm not saying opt into everything that it has, but in some way you're gonna have to use it, but just don't let it use you. This is going to be a major part of you feeling connected and not all over the place. Don't place your identity on a digital. Don't place your identity on a digital image, avatar. Now, there is some stuff I've always known about the Matrix, and I don't talk about it. I tell people how to do real life living, but now I kind of have to. It's just, I have to, right? So what is the Matrix? Some people hear it, they're like, man, these people, they just crazy, right? Some people say that. When you woke, people are gonna say you're crazy, but by all means, let me be that crazy person, right? So if you watch the Matrix movie, there are people in pods, and basically, when they're in the pods, they basically get fed with some sort of liquid that they figured out how to feed the people in the pods, and basically they were living their lives in a virtual reality. And this virtual reality they were so stuck in the virtual reality that the virtual reality made them feel as if it was true reality. It's like if you've been dreaming for like over 10 years, the dream starts to feel like reality, especially when your senses feel like that reality. So over time, they created different versions of the Matrix because none of the people knew that they were in it. Here, let me take a sip of juice. Reason why people got stuck in the Matrix is because they didn't know they were in it. They thought they were living real life. What I'm realizing is with social media now, and just media in general, there is very little distinction now between what's real life and what's fictional. There's very little distinction between what's pop culture and what's your culture. There's very little distinction as them and you. It seems like all of us is connected. Apparently, that's what Facebook says Facebook wants to do. So basically, if you're not conscious and during these times, you're gonna lose yourself. Now, in the Matrix, there were people in pods, but not everybody was asleep. There were the woke people. Now, Babylon is breaking down. Now, here's what I'm saying. So there was these people who roamed off of the real world. Now, the real world did not look as beautiful as this Matrix world looked like. The real world looked very grimy because it was the end and AI had took over. Now, I want you to realize that the Matrix is not a movie, it's a documentary. The Matrix is not a movie, it's a documentary. And I also want you to start watching movies differently. Y'all really want to tap into this message and you want to hear. Those who have ears, let them hear. All right, reason why I'm out here talking about this is because we got to talk about it, okay? We can't be walking around with our chest down like, oh, it's happening, let's not say nothing. No fear. I need you to speak up, speak your voice. So now, to think that one is awake is realize that they place their mind in another matrix box. I got to think about that one. So basically, shout out to you, Bradley. Shout out to you, bro. So basically, the Matrix is in many levels. So the world in itself is a Matrix already without this tech stuff, which means it's only getting deeper and deeper and deeper. These are new versions of the Matrix, all right? And as there are new versions of the Matrix, there are new laws in the Matrix. Okay, I don't want to go too deep. But first it was like cause and effect, and then it was something else. It was different laws that ruled it. Okay, so as we go towards this new age, we're gonna have new laws. Now, China already has the rating system where they give you a rate on how you're doing, on your value based on how you conform. This is society as well. Now, the Matrix, when the society comes in the box offices, Brad says a self-righteous Matrix box. So what's the current version of the Matrix? The current version of the Matrix is not only people on social media, as in, yo, I'm on social media, I'm interacting, I've created an avatar of myself, and I identify myself as an avatar. Now, to some extent, I'm in this loop. Except I'm conscious that I'm using it, I'm not letting it use me. And every day I'm disassociating who I really am and what my avatar is. Another form of the Matrix is work. So the concept of work is the Matrix. Why is it? Because we're working at box organizations, box corporations, and we are sold a dream, and we're stuck in a life that is literally feeding a system. So for the system to keep going, we got to keep doing certain things that feeds the system, so we don't really get a freedom. We're really enslaved in a system that is not necessarily digital, but it's a workplace. It's a system of man. It's like, I got to go do this. I got to get 40 years for the organization, and then I retire and get Social Security that's running out. Right? You might not even get that. So basically, the Matrix exists in so many different levels. What I'm saying now is going from the level of work and societal boundaries to a digital space. So now we have to be conscious, because guess what? The same people that wants, look, and here's the deepest thing I've recognized. I'm gonna keep saying this. The people that's supposed to help free the people are gonna enslave the people, and they won't even know they're doing it. And it won't be their intention. The reason why a lot of people are going to go back into these virtual worlds are also going to be because the leaders of the virtual worlds, the people who have been given tokens and value upon the amount of work and labor they do for it. So basically, it's not just a metaverse, it's a new marketplace. It's literally taking this current matrix world that they've tested out and saying, okay, it's about to break down soon because people are becoming entrepreneurs, people are tapping in with how to eat healthy, and sooner or later people are going to start reliving in real life more and more and more. So guess what? We can't make that happen. So guess what? We're creating the digital version of the matrix world. So now the digital version of the matrix world is the metaverse. And now we're in this metaverse. You're going to be able to change your face. You're going to be able to have a new identity. You're going to be able to have experiences that you never really had before because of this. Now, where's the issue? Escapism. Okay, now let's say people were able to be, let's say you were able to be very conscious and to go in the matrix and out of it consciously. That'd be good. But what's going to happen most likely is this. People are going to try to escape reality with a new false reality, and they're going to convince themselves that the new false reality is the reality. And people are going to start opting out of real life. So what I'm saying here is I want you to opt in real life, and I want you to go in a lot on your real life living. By that I mean, what does it mean to opt in your real life? Opt in your real life is to make a determined effort that you're not going to be stuck to social media. Opting in real life is to make a determined effort you're not going to be stuck in the metaverse. Opting in real life is making a determined effort that you're going to take yourself outside. You have to opt into real life living, that you're going to have more one-on-one interactions, that you're going to have interactions with other humans in real rooms in close proximity. So you got to opt in real life, RIL, okay? Let's say this. Let's make a determined, deliberate effort to say I'm opting into real life. Let's say that again. I'm opting into real life. So what is real life living? I need you to smell outside. I need you to breathe the outside air. I need you to be in touch with nature. Get your hands in the garden. I need you to go to the beach. Go explore. If you're not real life living, sooner than later, you won't know the difference between the digital world and the real life. So right now is a good time to get your hands dirty. All right? That's the sum of the message. Okay. How can you be more conscious? What is the metaverse and what is it about? Facebook just named their company Meta. Let's talk about this. Brad, I'm gonna answer your question. Is there a difference between the soul and the spirit? Let me answer this question. Now, it's a great question because these digital platforms are not going to be able to purchase your soul. So the essence of what you are able to download as a spiritual being is your soul. Remember the spiritual download? And the moment that they figure out how to download that and let that everlasting component, all the different things that combine to make you. Here's what I mean. Parts of your soul includes, and not limited to, and I'm not saying this is it and only it, this is just a perspective. The lessons that you've acquired in your life thus far, the person you have became, the things that you really value, the gifts that intertwine within you, the way that you would respond to somebody, what makes you a human, the parts of you that experience certain emotional states, all of that memory of how you're being, what you're acquiring is a download. It's like a spiritual download, and this is kind of like a soul. Now, this is a way of putting it in relation to the metaverse. Not the only way. There's many different ways of looking at the soul. But I'm saying the spirit in itself is not necessarily what you have or what you've accumulated or what has been gathered along your journey here, But it's the essence of you without any of that. And that's what's really untainted, right? So that's why somebody might say, yo, he's that's a dark soul. Now, why is this soul so dark? Because this soul has accumulated certain energies throughout the life. The karma has came around where the soul is in a specific state. But a spirit, well, he has a dark spirit. The spirit is always of the light. You know, when you see somebody's spirit, it's always untainted. So to be spiritual is to live in that untainted light version of you, to be in touch with everything. And that allows you to see the shadows and the darkness, even if some of that darkness resides in parts of your soul. Hopefully that didn't confuse the hell out of you. But that's just a way of looking at it. Now, I could define things different ways based on different situations. Somebody says, you asked, what Sadhguru was like, you asked the guru a question here, and he might give you this answer. You ask him a question in a different scenario, he might give you this answer. Why am I giving you this answer? In relation to your soul, what they determined that they can do is they can study you to the point where they can replicate you. Using all the things that you post are information that you give them about yourself, and they could accumulate that to say how you would react to certain situations, and they can create a artificial version of you. In fact, in this current ecosystem that's being curated, you can take your face and create an avatar where you can see the pores in your face. Now, somebody says, that's pretty cool, which means I could put myself in a box. Some people are excited about that. Yeah, you can't put yourself in a box. But what I'm saying is, literally, they can take your likeness, your image, and recreate it in a digital way for you. Now, let's say this. Let's say you're in a room and you've been using a VR headset, you've been getting used to it, and then some people walk in and boom, what do? They put a needle in you, they stabilize you, put you in a sleep state, and then they put VR glasses on, and now you stay in that VR glasses for 10 years. Will you know the difference between real life? If they made the VR look like real life, you wouldn't really know. And over time, your soul can be stuck in a box and you have no clue, because your reality the false reality, the pseudo reality has became what you think is reality. All right, let's go back a little bit. I gotta remember to keep simplifying some stuff, because I can go in a deep realm of thought. All right, let's go back. Now, here's what leaders are going to need to do in the metaverse. First of all, we could either do a couple of things. Opt out completely, or opt in to help people opt out. I don't know which route I'm going to take, but I don't know. All I know is people are still going to be on social media. There's still going to be ways you can reach those people. And my movement is to be in real life. My movement is to start to do things in person. As you can see, I've been doing more speeches. I've been doing more in-person stuff. I'm hosting my classes online. Staying away from all this Zoom and all this stuff. I'm trying to do stuff in person. So what you can do is just do stuff in real life. Try to hang, instead of calling if your friend is not across the state, they're in the same city, like instead of FaceTiming them, let's link up, make some time to really connect with people. That's really the gist of this whole podcast. Like, I have a lot of perspective on the metaverse and the name change, but what I'm saying is that this is also going to become a commerce. The metaverse is going to replace the internet, and the initiative, the incentive for people to create it is really the worlds that they can create and the money that they can make. But there is going to be an ethical thing there, and we can't ignore it. So the people who are creating the metaverse, they have to be ethically sound. So they have to be impacted by you listening to this podcast. This is what I mean. There is a kid in college right now that's working on the AI technology that is going to be very beneficial to help the metaverse grow. Now, you might not agree with the metaverse, but guess what? If you authentically share your truth enough, you can empower people to do good within the same system that they're creating. Because guess what? We can't get rid of the system. But what we can do is we can impact this system. That way the people that get in there don't get enslaved by it, don't have certain unethical things there. And can you affect all of those people? Not really. But what you can do is you can start spreading your truth. You can start having conversations about this, because you never really know who's the next programmer. You probably know who's going to create something that sell it to Facebook, and it's in there. With that being said, is a lot of people are going to be mixing in, going to be putting in their 2 cents in this, and some people don't have the good intentions, right? So the same thing that, is being created by all of these different creators and curators and developers, some of them really don't even have emotional intelligence to understand how the human psyche works. So these things are not going to be built per se with you in mind. So however way you can impact the people who's building it, trust me, you'll be doing a big thing. Like, you don't want 10, 20 years from now, somebody says, where were you when the Matrix was being created? Like, when did you opt in then? I'm like, man, when were you when the Matrix was being created? What did you do about it? You want to at least bring this conversation you want to at least research it. The Metaverse? Yo, let's go back a little bit. This podcast is a bit casual here. Let me remain as casual as I can. Let me pretend that I'm not even doing a podcast, like I'm talking to my homies. So basically, when you look at the word meta means to transcend. The true meta isn't meta. The true meta is your spiritual evolution. Now let's go. Let me tell you how this is spiritual warfare. I'm gonna tell you, like I said, I'm reaching a point in my life where I realize that I can't keep holding back some stuff from y'all, because I don't want my kids to ask me, Dad, you were so wise when you was 26. Where were you when the biggest upset was happening? What did you do? Well, son, I was helping people get better, but I didn't tell them what was happening. I just helped them get better holistically, but I didn't really tell them about the Matrix. I didn't tell them nothing about that because I was too scared. What? You think I don't want to tell my kid that? I want to be like, yo, I told him as it is. Okay, I'm gonna give you the definition of meta. Y'all stick with me here, okay? I'm about to give you the definition of meta. Not from the gaming's perspective here. I'm gonna tell you the definition. Of course, now Google's probably still gonna start changing up, but basically, it's transcending. It's like transcending your physical body. Let me see. Change, transformation, metaphysics, transcending. Now, how you transcend yourself spiritually is not to connect yourself to AI. How you transcend is to be as real life as possible, where you can experience everything as you. This is true transcending. But now they're trying to make you experience the fake world as you. What? Think about it. People are gonna transcend into GTA, yeah. Like, imagine your kid. No, y'all think I'm talking about you. This is about your babies. Your baby's about to get messed up if they go in this stuff. Here's why. Because you're gonna have 12-year-olds try to be 18 or 25 or 30. And their minds can be rotten by this stuff, yo. So real life living is so important. Right now, I need you to be living in real life, RRL. This has to be a real thing. Am I living in real life, or am I in this virtual world? Now, I'm here. I'm doing a live video. I'm not living in the virtual world, but I'm in here. I'm in this digital space. But I'm outside with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm outside with it. So how do y'all feel about this metaverse? Right? I want to know how y'all feel about it. What's your take on this new embark? Come on, comment below. Let me know, because I just see the Matrix unfolding. I've been saw the Matrix. Now I'm seeing it more and more. I'm seeing the TikTok dance ritual. Like, people are gonna literally be led like sheep easily, and I don't want that to be you, okay? In your mindset, why you think is yours is just a stimulation of algorithms. Unless you intentionally seek out the wisdom and knowledge yourself, you are being algorithmized into a way of thinking with memes. And the intention for people to post the memes, some of the memes, is because you're gonna get the like. They get the like. So they're gonna post the memes that they post memes to get likes. They feed the system, just like it's gonna happen in the meta. So what do I mean by that? You ever seen Justin LaBaby? Let's take that for example. I'm gonna say this example. Now, or you ever seen Spiritual World or The Shade Room? Now, there are certain memes, certain mindsets that we know about, but it's not necessarily, let's say, the perfect mindset. But people post them. Why? Because they get a lot of likes. But then people who read them, they don't just see it as a perspective, they adopt it as a reality of what is. Okay, let me not trick you. Let me not. So they're like, oh, this meme said that, oh, this is true. And then they adopt that as their philosophy. So with the incentive of getting more people to like my posts, we can spread different mindsets that over time algorithmize us into a way of thinking that don't really serve us. But I need to put this stuff in a book. It's 10 o'clock, y'all. I'm done with the podcast. Like I told you, non-formal day today. It's Friday. It's Friday. Genius can seem stupid. I got a lot in my brain. I need to put this in a book. That's how I need to transmit this. Okay, I'm gonna write this down in a book in a way where I can really bring my thoughts out. I'll come back and talk about it. But anyways, appreciate y'all for tapping in. This is the Ed Talks Daily Podcast, y'all. Make sure y'all tap into this, subscribe to this channel. Go to edtalksdaily.com if you want to listen to it. And you'll be able to dive into all the personal development subjects I got on how to grow holistically. So go ahead, subscribe. I'm going to be coming back here, sharing the truth with you all. You know, can't stop the truth. We got to share the truth. We got to be the truth. We got to live the truth. We got to live in the real world. We got to share the truth. We got to be the truth. We got to live in the real world. That's right. Peace and love, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. Listen, use it. Don't let it use you. Don't let it abuse you. Opt out when you need to. Come in when you need it. Leave when you feel like you got what you need. I'm telling you. And you must believe that, listen, your happiness and contentment is not dependent upon a virtual experience. Your happiness and contentment is dependent upon your internal experience. It's not the virtual reality that allows you to be happy. Is you being okay with the reality of who you are, what is, accepting it, and then just being. Remember, life is part suffering, which means your ass is gonna suffer, but life is also very beautiful. And to opt out the suffering of life for the joy of a pseudo life is foolery, because I'd rather suffer RRL than be pseudo happy in a fake world. That's my message, and I'm sticking to it. Remember, you have the unlimited power in you to live your life in reality and not in the pseudo world. Until that happens, until you believe that your life is good as it is, the world will forever miss all your talents, all your gifts, and all the great things that you got to offer. So it's the holistic motivator, and I'm about to exit the #1 podcast in the alternative medicine space. That's right, manifestation at its best. Thank y'all for watching here. Y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Peace.